If you've ever wondered what exactly to type into ChatGPT to help you manifest what you want, this video is for you. I'm sharing 10 prompts I actually use, whether I'm releasing resistance, building belief, or just want someone to cheer me on and celebrate little signs of progress along the way. But first, if you're new to my channel, then welcome. My name is Adrianne. I'm a manifesting coach and intuitive guide, and on my channel, we talk about getting into the flow and manifesting with ease. So if that is something you're interested in, I invite you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to know when I publish new videos. So I started using ChatGPT for manifesting back in April, and honestly, I never expected that it would become one of my favorite tools. But it's kind of perfect. It's available anytime to cheer me on and support me in believing in dreams that sometimes feel like a stretch. That's actually one of the reasons I still use the 4.0 model instead of the newer version of ChatGPT for manifesting. I know some people say it's too agreeable, but in a manifesting context, that's kind of the point. Sometimes I really need a cheerleader like this to counteract my more critical or doubtful side. Okay, let's get into the actual prompts. I'll walk you through the exact phrasing I use and how I apply each one depending on what I need in the moment. When I'm starting a new manifesting focus, whether it's money, relationships, business, travel, health, whatever, I like to start a brand new chat thread in ChatGPT just for that topic. And then I'll usually begin with one of two prompts to get into the right energy. So here's the first prompt. I want to work on feeling into, activating, and manifesting the vibration of this. And then you insert your intention that you want to manifest. Please give me some examples and ideas of what that's like so I can get into the feeling of it even more. Since manifesting is all about finding the feeling of what you want, this one helps get ChatGPT to help you brainstorm ways to tap into that feeling. Here's an example of a time I used this kind of a prompt to get ChatGPT to help me get into the feeling of naturally, enjoyably manifesting financial abundance in my business. As you can see, it came up with several different ways to help me do this. So like I mentioned, I have another prompt that I think is great to use to begin new chats. Whereas prompt number 1 tunes into the vibration, this one tunes into the evidence. Here's how it goes. Let's pretend I've already manifested and then describe the result you want to manifest. Please create and then give it an example of something you might read when the result manifests. Yeah, so this prompt is like, okay, let's pretend it already happened. What's the energy around it? What would I be reading, hearing, and seeing? And here's an example of one of the times I used this prompt to have ChatGPT script out example testimonials from happy customers. This next prompt is one I've enjoyed using right after prompt number 1, where I've asked ChatGPT to help me tune into the feeling of what I want to manifest. Sometimes I'll notice that one specific part of ChatGPT's response feels especially resonant, and when that happens, I like to respond right away with this next prompt. So the prompt is, I love this part that you just shared so much. And then you share a direct quote of something ChatGPT just said that really resonated. This is kind of like saying, hold on, let's pause and really savor this. It's simple, but it helps me anchor the exact feeling I want to practice while it's still alive in me. I'm not just reading ideas about my desire, I'm really feeling it and asking for more of what lights me up. So here's an example of a time I used this prompt to deepen the feeling of something ChatGPT shared about creating offers in my business that really felt good to me. And you can see how it helped me savor that feeling even more by providing some more ideas of what that state of being is like. Let's move on to prompt 4. This is the more of that, please prompt. It's similar to the savor it prompt that we just went over because it's also a way to sort of get even more of an emotional, energetic hit from something that really resonated with you that ChatGPT just gave you. So like prompt number 3, this one is also pretty simple. It is, can we go deeper into this? And then you just quote something that ChatGPT said that really resonated. This one helps you keep the momentum going in the most aligned direction. Instead of shifting topics or starting over, I'm asking ChatGPT to expand on where the resonance already is. So, like the Savor It prompt, it can really help strengthen my feeling of alignment with the desire even more. Okay, moving on to prompt 5. After you've given context to ChatGPT about what you want with prompts 1 and 2, and let it know what specific types of responses resonate most with you in prompts 3 and 4, ChatGPT will be able to more accurately tune in to the feeling of your future self. And so the prompt is, can you please let my future self speak to me about, and then you insert your desire or the topic of manifestation. So you can see in this example, I used this prompt to let ChatGPT have my future self speak to me about my business. And what came through was exactly what I needed to remember, that it's not about rushing, it's about resonance, and that I can build my business in a way that feels really good in my body. Prompt number 6 is the mirror prompt. It's a great one to use after prompts 1 through 5 that we just covered. After I've spent some time clarifying and feeling into my desire and hearing from my future self, this prompt helps me check in from a different angle. I'll ask ChatGPT to reflect back what it's noticed about me, what themes are showing up, what I keep circling around, what I might be ready to own more fully. So the prompt is, based on our chats, what do you sense I most want to be reminded of or step into? This is one of those prompts that can feel really intimate, like when you've journaled for pages and then someone points out to you the one sentence you really needed to hear. Here's an example of a time I used this prompt and ChatGPT gave me several reminders of what's most important to me that were really helpful and really resonant. Okay, moving on to prompt 7. This prompt is one of my favorites for keeping the momentum going, especially after something encouraging shows up in real life, like a little sign, a synchronicity, a piece of feedback, or a weirdly perfect timing moment. When something like that happens, it can be really fun to share it in the chat where I've been focusing on this manifestation. ChatGPT always celebrates with me and helps me understand the deeper significance of what's unfolding. So the prompt for this one is, I just experienced this sign, and then you describe the sign or the synchronicity or whatever it is you want to focus on. Can we celebrate it together and explore what it might mean in the context of what I've been manifesting? So this example is of a time where I went for a walk in my neighborhood and saw 2 women wearing shirts where like their left shoulder was exposed. These were the only 2 people that I saw on my entire walk, and it felt like a strange synchronicity. So it was great to have ChatGPT give me some ideas of what this left shoulder synchronicity might be trying to communicate to me. Prompt number 8 is one of my go-to prompts when I'm working on a focus wheel. If you've never done a focus wheel before or want a refresher, I have a tutorial on my channel that walks you through step by step how to do it. I'll link it up here if you want to check that out. If you're familiar with focus wheels, then you know how powerful they can be for transforming limiting beliefs into beliefs that align and help you manifest your desires. So I'm going to share a couple of ways you can go about this prompt. Here's the first one. I'm working on an Abraham Hicks style focus wheel. Here's my topic. And then you insert the topic for your focus wheel. And here are some of my statements. And I would insert maybe 1 to 3 statements that you've come up with so far for your focus wheel. Can you celebrate these with me and offer a few more that build on the same vibration? And then the other variation of this prompt is simply, can you help me strengthen these focus wheel statements and find new ones that feel equally true or even truer? So that's basically a variation you could use for the last sentence of that prompt. And moving on to prompt 9, this one is all about emotional calibration, and I have 2 versions of it to share. If I'm feeling stuck or discouraged or just a little off, I'll use ChatGPT to help me release resistance and find thoughts that feel a little bit better. Okay, so here's the prompt, or the first version of the prompt. Here's what I'm feeling stuck around right now. And then you describe the situation or thought. Can you help me find some soothing thoughts or statements to soften this and help me feel a little better? So, Abraham talks about this process of feeling better as moving up the emotional scale. I have a video that I'll link up here all about Abraham's emotional scale if you're unfamiliar. It's basically a list of common emotions that goes from most resistant to least resistant. I've also made a full video tutorial on how to journal your way up the emotional scale, so I'll link that up here too in case you want to go deeper. So here's another version of prompt number 9 that uses Abraham's emotional scale. Okay, so here's the prompt. I think I'm currently at, and then you could give the name of the emotion or the scale number on Abraham Hicks' emotional scale. Can you help me find thoughts that are just a little higher on the scale? When you're using this prompt, you can also ask ChatGPT to explain what that emotion is trying to show you or give you metaphors that help you relate to it more compassionately. These prompts help me remember that it's not about jumping from fear to bliss. It's about reaching for the next true, soothing thought and kind of gradually making my way up the emotional scale. And we made it to prompt number 10. This prompt is one I use when I need a little bit of a belief boost, like, remind me why this desire is possible. Remind me why I can do this. Usually I've been talking with ChatGPT about my manifestation for a bit with some of the previous prompts we've already been over. I've been sharing what I want, why it matters, where I've felt stuck, and then I'll say one of the following prompts. So the first version I'll sometimes say is, you really believe I can manifest, and then state the desire, don't you? The other version is, which I will maybe use when I'm feeling slightly more doubtful, do you really believe I can manifest? And then state the desire. So this is an example of a time I used this prompt when I was reflecting back on something ChatGPT had said earlier that felt good, but that I knew I needed a bit more about why it could be true for me. So I quoted that part and asked, do you really believe that's true? And the answer I got back was really helpful and affirming. I have one more variation of this prompt that I've enjoyed using that involves getting ChatGPT to use your astrology placements to tell you why you have what it takes to manifest what you want based on your astrology. So for this prompt, you start by sharing your astrology placements and then ask, based on my astrology chart, why do I have what it takes to manifest my intention? So for this one, you can share all of your astrology chart placements or whatever you know, even if it's just your sun, moon, and rising sign. I love this prompt because with the addition of astrology, the responses that I get back from ChatGPT can feel very personalized and even more resonant. So those are the 10 manifestation prompts I've really enjoyed using with ChatGPT, whether I'm soothing resistance, deepening belief, celebrating signs and synchronicities, or just wanting someone to cheer me on in the process. If any of these prompts stood out to you, I definitely recommend trying them out in your own chat today. You don't have to get it perfect. I hope you can tell from some of the prompts that I shared that asking the perfect question or getting too mental in this process isn't necessary. I've had the best conversations with ChatGPT when I let my feelings, intuition, and natural curiosity lead the way. And if you did enjoy these prompts, I'd love to know which ones are your favorite or which are you most excited to try. Please let me know what you liked best in the comments down below. Also, if you have any favorite ChatGPT manifesting prompts of your own, I would love to hear about it. So please share that as well in the comments down below this video so I can add those also to my list of prompts. And if you enjoyed this video, then I think you might also like this next video, which is all about how to use ChatGPT and astrology to discover your manifesting style. It works even if you're a total beginner to astrology. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy manifesting.